Welcome back and thanks for being here on a relatively calm Thursday, news-wise that is, considering we've been hit with another winter blast that pales in comparison to anything seen pretty much in central Kentucky and elsewhere. While we did pick up a half foot of snow, which before a couple of weeks ago would have been one of our bigger snowstorms of the most recent several years, it kind of pales in comparison, even though it was serious nonetheless. Don't want to make light of it that much or to that degree, but nevertheless, by comparison to what we just got through and saw melted away finally after a couple of weeks nearly. And then when you look at what some other numbers have been posted today, 20 inches and counting for some counties in Kentucky. So we'll talk briefly about our weather conditions, current and future and past, and we've got some other headlines for you. First off, I have realized that the 7 o'clock feed on the Foothills Network for the past 2 nights was not working. Well, here's the situation. I hadn't mentioned this because we were just going to let it go because we're not quite for certain how we're going to change things. There are some changes coming, still weeks away, maybe even a little bit longer, but for now, the show is playing at 6, 7, and 11 on Foothills, in addition to just the standard 7 and 11 as it has been. It's also being recorded at that 6 o'clock time frame, and it's a replay at 7 and 11. And a computer glitch had the 7 o'clock knocked out. That's been put back online. We should be okay there. Be sure and let me know, just as many of you did last night when we do have issues like that, but it shouldn't be from this point further. As far as permanent times, I'm not going to say it's going to stay at 6, 7, and 11 indefinitely, but for now, that's the scenario. So just to let you know, that is a situation. And I also have something else to... If there's any good news weather-wise and as far as conditions are concerned, it's the fact that I've got a 60-degree day in your forecast and daylight savings time is this weekend. It's kind of, I think, sneaked up on all of us, or at least most of us, definitely myself, because well, we've been dealing with one snowstorm after another, it feels as though. So daylight savings time this Saturday night, Sunday morning, I'm very welcome of that happening. Days will get an hour longer instantly, and then, of course, they're getting longer every day. As far as snowstorms, the governor, as he has now on 2 different occasions in just the past 2 weeks or less, he's issued a statewide declaration of emergency. He has also activated members of the Army National Guard to help in locations where need be, and of course one of those was in or near E-Town and I-65, where dozens and dozens and dozens of motorists got caught and stranded for more than 12 hours after the snow and ice started to fall at an amazing rate. And of course, snow totals right now, Hardin County picked up 25 inches, Nelson 22, I think Scott County had 20. The numbers wane from there and come all the way down to about 6 inches for us is my official tally here at the newsroom, and a little less for folks on to the south. But nevertheless, even though we picked up 6 inches, well, we just paled in comparison to what they are dealing with. A big, heavy, wet snow, 2 feet for some. Now, we're still talking about rivers cresting and some flooding to deal with. I've got some numbers and expected crest times and some crest times that have already taken place from the National Weather Service and some other information on that note, beginning with headlines right after these words.
To get high-speed internet on their state-of-the-art fiber optic network for all of your home and business solutions, or to watch TV without a contract on over 200 digital channels with superb quality, or stay connected with family and friends with 24/7 telephone service you can always depend on, contact Foothills Broadband today. Or just click on their link to the right to find out how they're working to provide the latest in communications at affordable prices with exceptional service at Foothills Broadband.
Seldom have we had to keep our eyes on the flooding and the snowstorm at the same time. Many rivers have crests, some have not, some still have hours to go, and the snow is winding down with a few flurries lingering on through the evening. The Big Sandy River has crest just as of earlier this afternoon. The Leviza Fork of the Big Sandy yet to do so.
At this time, waters had just started to recede, I think, in the Ramey Park. Now, some roads which were covered, back street in town, I know 867. There were some other areas, several roads that saw some water over them, and we'll have some proof of that in just a few moments. But by early morning hours, 8 or 9 or so, well, they had receded for the most part, and for the most part, roads still look like this. Of course, they have improved, and now there's nothing but blacktop to see on both lanes traveling through Sagersville. And on the main roads, side roads, of course, are still going to be snow-covered, and they're going to refreeze with a hard freeze tonight. Temperatures minus 0, below 0 tonight, and that will certainly mean that everything out there that is wet or white is going to freeze and stay that way for the foreseeable future and forecast until we hit that 60-degree mark in a few days. As for the Leviza Fork of the Big Sandy near Paintsville, it's yet to crest, and it's expected to crest right around 33 to 35 feet at around 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning, so it's still on the rise. Now, it takes 45 feet, I think, to become a significant flooding situation, and we're worried about putting it into structures in the Paintsville area, so they do not foresee that being an issue. Just some close to moderate flooding, if you will, and moderate might even be on the high side of things. I spoke with Chief Deputy Kevin Pelfrey of the Johnson County Sheriff's Department right around 4 o'clock, and there was some the streets close to the river in downtown that had water over them, Route 581, some roads there. He equated it to a good springtime flood, but was not causing any serious damage, but was over a few roadways. And I think that would also sum it up for situations here in McGoffin County. You can see where the Licking River crested right at about 16.71 feet earlier today. And in fact, we also had some eyes on the gauges earlier. And McGoffin County Rescue Squad Captain Carter Connolly also at around 5 o'clock or 5:30, he believed that it had crested about 2 hours prior to, and that it would be on its way down and downstream thereafter. And if you may have noticed in that first bit of video there, as I was showing road conditions in Route 7 early this morning, right around the 9:30 hour, that was when the McGoffin County Rescue Squad, if you may have seen their trucks coming towards you in that video, were returning from this scene in the Oakley Road area. They responded to a vehicle that had been in the water since around 5 o'clock that morning. The driver still inside, and with fears of hypothermia, the rescue squad says that they made any and all efforts to remove the individual from the water, a little reluctant to come at first for fear of leaving the vehicle and maybe further damage to it, but that reluctantly, after some encouragement, that they decided that hypothermia could be a serious situation that the driver could be facing, if not already.
Rescue squad building of a subject that was stranded in the water on Oakley Road just off of Route 7. And so we went and checked it out, and we could drive. The water had dropped. The subject had gotten off of work up at Tip Top as a night watchman and had a little small Ford Ranger vehicle that had driven through the water past the Lincoln Church, Baptist Church, made it out a little bit till he hit the swift water, and then apparently it floated the vehicle and floated it over into the ditch with the driver's side down into the ditch, and also the passenger compartment in the water. His mother actually called, and he'd been in that since about 5:30 or something like that, and sat there. So this was about 8:30 going on 9 o'clock. So we took our rescue vehicle and drove through some water where it run down enough that we stayed on the high side and went over to the vehicle within about 20 feet, advised the subject that they come to get him, and he refused to leave. And they radioed back to me that he didn't want to leave the truck. I said, well, that's all we can do. We cannot force him. So vehicles came back out, and so then his mother showed up, and I advised her what the situation was, and I told her, I said, we cannot force him, but the longer he stays in that vehicle, and hypothermia is starting to set in. So I told her, I said, we'll try it one more time and to get him out. And she said, okay, try. And so we went, sent the unit back in, pulled up to the vehicle, and told him that if he didn't come out, the possibility he could receive frostbite, hypothermia, and whatever related health problem that could come out of that. He decided then he was close enough to get on the front bumper of the rescue truck. So first they advised that he wasn't wet, and then when he got around inside the vehicle, yes, his feet had been in the water for almost 3 hours.
Connolly reminds us that it indeed was a prime example of it's just never safe to try to drive through water over any roadway, especially in the dark, even if it's a roadway you traveled numerous times a day for numerous years, that it's just within a moment or an instant you can lose track of the roadway, or in a light or even a heavy vehicle, depending on the depth of the water and the current at which speed of the current at which it's flowing, you can be washed away or float off of the roadway and become or find yourself in a very precarious and dangerous situation in just a second. He also said that they had to respond to the Jellicoe area today with the side-by-sides, UTVs, and 4x4s to assist the ambulance service in getting a patient out of their residence and to the ambulance and to a hospital, to the emergency room. Of course, a hilly area of Jellicoe with ice and then a snowpack on top of it made for a serious situation, but they were able to respond to that area as well and then make sure that individual made it to the emergency room. And an update on the driver of this car from a crash yesterday on 460 West out of Sayersville near the Morgan-Magoffin County line. You saw Deputy Holbrook point to where the driver had been ejected from her vehicle, and then, of course, you saw where the vehicle came to a rest. We're still uncertain what caused her to lose control of her car, but it did roll over and threw her out. They knew on scene that she'd suffered some sort of a head trauma, possibly. She was taken by a TranStar ambulance to the ARH Medical Center and from there to another facility as she continued to show signs of head trauma due to a result of her being ejected. She also suffered a fractured hip, I'm told. I'm also told that, per Deputy Holbrook, that his investigation determined that she was Jamie Moore from the West Liberty area. We also believe she was the only occupant in the car at the time. But once again, she is recovering from serious injuries at this time after being taken to first the ARH Medical Center and then to a trauma center for head trauma and her fractured hip. Turning to Magoffin County Farm Bureau-sponsored community calendar announcements. Happy birthday to Marvin Watson from a whole lot of family and friends. It's his birthday today. Happy birthday to you, Marvin. Just a couple of quick reminders. Fruit and vegetable plant orders until the 20th. That'll be here before you know it at the Magoffin County Extension Service. Call 349-3216. And you still got a few days, I believe, to nominate someone for the Citizen and for the Group of the Year awards to be handed out as they do on an annual basis on behalf of the Sayersville Kiwanis Club. If you have some nominations, mail them to Kiwanis, P.O. Box 62, here in Sayersville. And with all of the severe weather, all of the winter weather, they are way behind in pints of blood, way behind in donations, and more than ever, they need your help. The next community blood drive for Magoffin County has been set for this coming Wednesday, 12:30 till 5 o'clock in the Magoffin Medical Building there behind the Sayersville Subway. They definitely need your support now more than ever. 2 lucky donors will win a $25 Walmart gift card, and there's just no other reason to not donate. You could save someone's life. And, of course, do you bleed blue, Wildcat blue? Well, you can prove it this month at the Kentucky Blood Center Bloodmobile this Wednesday, March the 11th, 12:30 till 5. And if you do, they'll give you that My Blood Type is Wildcat Blue t-shirt for free. How cool is that? And how cool is it that we have a calendar every weekday and it's free? The coolest. Send me your birthdays, anniversaries, or announcements, and we'll let everyone know about them. I have an update to the services to be held for P. Ronnie Miller, Ronnie Ray Miller, 62 of Whitley Road. I don't have the graphic changed, but I've just now learned that services have been changed due to the weather. Visitation will be after 6 o'clock tomorrow, all day Saturday, and services will be Sunday at 1 instead of Saturday at 1, all of which from the Magoffin County Funeral Home. And that, once again, is in honor of 62-year-old P. Ronnie Miller of Whitley Road. And that is, once again, services Sunday at 1, and visitation moved up a day as well, all at the Magoffin County Funeral Home. To get high-speed internet on their state-of-the-art fiber optic network for all of your home and business solutions, or to watch TV without a contract on over 200 digital channels with superb quality, or stay connected with family and friends with 24/7 telephone service you can always depend on, contact Foothills Broadband today. Or just click on their link to the right to find out how they're working to provide the latest in communications at affordable prices with exceptional service at Foothills Broadband. All right, still a lot to talk about. I know I'm cutting it a little bit short tonight, but I had to spend a few hours today on the telephone with a software company out of California. I'll not bore you too much, but that was just, it was a planned thing that we had to do today to get some things going and enable us to work on some things over the course of the weekend, and of course it took longer than what I thought. We had 3.42 inches of rainfall here at the studio during that rain event right before the snow started to fall. 3 and nearly half inches of rainfall, and of course we've seen the flooding result directly of that. Fortunately, it was over a long enough period of time to where the water has not caused any serious damage. Now, a lot of that water looks to freeze. That's not. I went back and checked it twice, 3 times, truth be known. We are looking at 7 below for nighttime lows tonight. or roundabout. Northwest winds 6 miles per hour becoming calm. Some gradual clearing, but it's going to be downright brutal cold. And, of course, all roads, everything wet is going to refreeze and be steady or slowly to thaw tomorrow. So -7 tonight, a north wind becoming calm. Wind chills won't be too much of a factor because there won't be much wind after a few more hours if you're catching the early show, and that's a good thing. We're already going to be at -7. And speaking of -7, that's about where wind chills are expected to be on your Friday. A chance of flurries maybe up to about 8 o'clock tonight. That'll be the last of the precipitation. We'll see sunshine tomorrow, 31 degrees, wind chill values as low as -7 early, and then we'll see temperatures tomorrow night right around 12 degrees, and tomorrow night temperatures will feel closer to 4 degrees when you factor in the wind chill. So no melt tomorrow. Saturday, mostly sunny, and that's going to be the start of things to change. We actually see the 40s return for this Saturday, and keep this in mind. We're going to see 60 before the end of the forecast period or right at it. I'll get there in just a second. So we're talking 44 for the high, 28 for the low on Saturday. Still clear as far as precipitation is concerned. Sunny and nice during the day, mostly cloudy late. Things will continue to thaw. And then Sunday we'll see more sunshine return, and we'll slowly climb from the mid to the upper 40-degree range for daytime highs. I expect to see right around 47 on your Sunday and still partly sunny. We'll see some clouds roll in late Sunday night. They're not a weather maker. No precipitation. Just mostly cloudy skies. More sun is back in the forecast when we start off next week. We're calling 48 and partly sunny on your Monday. Still no precipitation in sight. That's a good thing. We've had more than our fair share. And lows close to the freezing mark. But there's still some room for improvement, don't you think? And there it is. Partly sunny, 52 degrees on your Tuesday. With that, we do have a slight chance of some rain or snow showers, only to the tune of 20%. I can live with it. Even the low is above freezing, so it's going to be welcome on Tuesday. By Wednesday of next week, we'll go from the low 50s to the upper 50s, 57 degrees, mostly sunny. And by the time we hit Thursday and we hit 60, 62 degrees, you're talking about a 70-degree swing in temperatures from tonight's -7 or 8 to 60 or 62 for daytime highs on Thursday. Between now and Thursday of next week, 70-degree swing. Factor in daylight savings time, a little extra time to enjoy it, and we've got a winner of a forecast slowly arriving. Thanks for being here. We hope to see you back here tomorrow night for more of your news to do. Wrapping up a big week, weather and otherwise. Hope you join us for that. For now, have a good, safe, warm night.